have plans afoot to commemorate the first and biggest massacre in the country of Namaqualand that happened during the Anglo Boer War, almost known as the South African War. This was when more than 35 inhabitants of the town were wiped out by Boer commandos under Commandant Manie Maritz in January of 1902.
A piece of untold history. The town of Leliefontein lies deep in the Kamiesberg Mountains. It has a rich history, but also a very sad and almost forgotten story. Many people here were massacred in the final stages of the Anglo Boer War in January 1902. This is a stone of echoes, or the Kunkaba stone, as the Nama people would call it. And this stone has a very sad story to tell as to what happened here in Leliefontein on 31 January 1902. At the church we meet Katie Bekers and Shirley Links. Both are direct descendants of some of the slain Leliefontein inhabitants. They tell the story of the massacre as told to them by their forefathers.
Dan het ouma vir ons vertel.
My great-grandmother told us that her father, Gert Links, was murdered at Kunkaba Stone. That day they fled to Norrivier. When they got there, they realized that the people of Norrivier also fled. There they got food and clothes and fled further with a gravel road towards Springbok.
Shirley Links is teary when she relates the story of what happened at the Kunkaba Stone that fateful day.
En my ma het vir ons die storie vertel dat daardie spesifieke dag. Sy het gesê my oom.
My mother told us that her uncles, Jacob and Gert Links, was shot at the Kunkaba Stone. It was sad. The stone was divided in two and it was high. The bodies fell in between the stones. Nobody was buried, and the bodies lied strewn all over. It was a bloodbath.
Community leaders felt the need to have remembered this day, this so that the history of this town is made known.
Dit is 'n storie wat nie vertel word nie.
This is a story that was never told. It was not written up in the South African history books. It was the biggest massacre of the 19th century in Namaqualand, and this is why it is important for us that this story is made known.
The commemoration of the Leliefontein massacre will increase pride amongst communities and hopefully educate the communities of Namaqualand about their almost forgotten and rich 19th century history. Keith Seister, SABC News, Leliefontein in the Kamiesberg Mountains.